Hey, everybody, we're waiting here while we get set up on Instagram. It takes a little bit of time to go live. We are live on Instagram as well, though, now. Appreciate y'all for being here. Today, we are talking about leading from a healthy, strong body. We cannot lead from a weak body. It's just not the way it works. We won't have energy. We won't have focus. We won't have clarity. We won't have the things we need to be successful leaders for our families, for our businesses, for our employees, for our coworkers. We want to be leaders. Let me ask you, how many areas of your life, family, faith, business, your community, are you trying to lead from right now? Trying to lead from an empty cup? Not taking the time to fill that cup up by taking care of your body, by giving your body what it needs. There was a season of my life, I just did a speech on it last night, my 10-minute speech. Part of it, at least, was I was running a successful business. Well, it was successful. It was a successful business. I was closing deals. I was making money. The business was moving forward, but I was sacrificing my long-term leadership and my long-term ability to continue for those profits, for that short-term gain, for that short-term goal. I wasn't thinking about the long-term future. In the speech, I said I was prioritizing profits over the things that I said matter. The speech was talking about family. This is talking about strength, our health, our body. I told myself at the time, and we've all done it, this is just a season, it's just temporary. But then a week, a month turns into a quarter, turns into a year. Then we've got the dad bod. And boy, dad bod came and just took a hold of us, didn't it? We tell ourselves that it's temporary. We tell ourselves that this is just what happens when you have kids, but it doesn't have to. Now, today is not about getting ripped, getting a six-pack, growing huge biceps, or whatever you want. It's about building strength. Strength that fuels your family, strength that fuels your mission, your goals, your legacy. Now, when we build the foundations for this strength, the six-pack comes. It's a byproduct. But if that's what you're here for, you might be in it for the wrong reasons. Before we continue on, thank you for being here live. If you are here live, I appreciate it. Taking time out of your day to come hang out. Drop some fire in the chat. And let me know this. If you've ever told yourself, I'll get in shape when, insert your phrase here, when things slow down, when I don't have that project at work, when the kid turns 6 months old, when baseball season isn't over. Well, that was words can be tough. When baseball season is over. If you've ever told yourself that, put a 1 in the chat right now. It doesn't have to be that way. Because when we're focused on the long term, we know that Building a strong body is the foundation for everything else. Everything else becomes easier when we take care of that. When it's weak, when it's neglected, that's a pun here. Everything feels heavier. The weight of everything feels heavier mentally, emotionally, and physically. The strength that we have, the discipline that we have to be taking care of our health and our wellness bleeds into every other aspect of our life. Your family notices when you make these changes. Hey, David. What your kids are learning mostly, it's caught, it's not taught. They are watching how you treat your body. They're watching the things that you put into your mouth. They're watching the habits that you are instilling in yourself, and that is bleeding into them. Those habits that you have today, they're not just going to last for your kids. Hopefully, your kids are going to pass those habits down. You are creating a legacy of what health looks like. I mentioned the abs, that's not why we're here. We're here for the energy. We're here for the focus. We're here for the challenge of doing the hard things and the resilience that builds. Especially the resilience in fatherhood, in parenthood, but in entrepreneurship, in all the other struggles that come through life. My guest yesterday, Greg Burney on Networking with Daniel, talked about how he starts his day with something challenging. And I loved it. Because when we start our day with something challenging and other challenging things come up throughout the day, it's not so bad. We've already stacked a win in that category, so to speak. You can't be present with your family, with your work, with your faith if you're in pain because you're not taking care of yourself. If you're low on energy because you're not fueling yourself with movement, if you're stressed out all the time because you don't have an escape for that. I love going to playing basketball. It's been something that I've done my whole life. And it's such a just stress relief. Not that I necessarily feel a whole lot of stress because I do a lot of things to manage it, but so many times in my life I've gone, "Hey, what's up, Eric? Thanks for being here. I'm feeling it right now. I'm just gonna go to the gym and just shoot. I'm feeling it right now. I'm just gonna go for a run." That movement, that exercise, it is a way for us to just relieve that stress. So use it. Can I wave on here? I don't know how to do that. I see people wave to me. Wave. I can wave like that. God gave us this body as a tool to go do his work. And if we're not treating it well, we're not being great stewards. So you treat this thing, this tool, this vessel, treat it well. Which one of these hits home for you the most right now? Is it strength in your leadership? Is it strength in your business or your career? Is it strength in your presence? Is it strength in your faith? Let me know in the chat. So I like to leave these, I talk a lot of fluff here. in a sense, but it gives you kind of a clear a picture of why strength matters and how changing it and prioritizing it will bleed into every other aspect. And I want to make sure that we're leaving these each week with some actionable steps. And I want you to keep in mind here that this doesn't have to be perfect. I love that the perfectionism, dang, it just slipped my mind. Perfectionism impedes growth. Keep it simple because simplicity and consistency beat intensity for the long term success. And if this is something that you haven't been in the habit of doing for a little while now, if you've been out of taking care of your health and taking care of your wellness, do not overcomplicate this. We don't need a perfect plan. We don't need some really hard program that's just programmed down to the T. We just need action. So here is your Tom Cruise starter kit. Here. 30 minutes every day. It's a non-negotiable. Walk, bike, run, lift, play with your kids. Just move. Every single day. It's a non-negotiable. If you just got up and walked 30 minutes a day, every single day, and you aren't already doing that, you will notice changes in your body composition, in your mood, in your energy, in your focus, in your presence. I should specify, put this down when you get out and go for a walk. Okay. I'd love to see 2 to 3 strength training sessions per week. This doesn't mean that you have to go to the gym. I don't like going to the gym. For me, the gym is 30 minutes away. It's not quite that long, but that's almost an hour in the car just to go to the gym for 30 minutes. Because I'm not one of those people that when I go to the gym, I spend an hour and a half in the gym. I'm very focused and intentional about my time in the gym. You will not see me on my phone in between sets. For me, there really isn't a lot of in between sets. I go from one thing to the next. I'm not working on, I'm not a physique model. I'm not a bodybuilder. I am a strength trainer and a leader. I guess I'm a bodybuilder in a sense. I'm building the body that is fueling me for intentional work, the work that I was put here for, the work that he is calling me to do. Okay, I got a little long-winded on that. You don't need a gym. You can do body weight exercises right in your own home. There aren't any excuses here. Push-ups, get a pull-up bar that goes right in your door. Do pull-ups, do body weight squats, do freaking deadlifts, burpees. Get a kettlebell and do some kettlebell swings and just kettlebell workout. If you need ideas for that, reach out, DM me. I've got plenty of exercises that you can do. They don't have to be super complicated, and it doesn't have to take you an hour and a half in the gym. That is a misconception. And the reality is, for most of us dads, an hour and a half in the gym 4 to 5 times a week doesn't work. What that does is it gets us motivated for a week or two, and then we get burnt out because we feel like we're being pulled away from all the other things that we say matter. So just make it easy. The last thing I want to say here on the starter kit, upgrade 1 nutritional habit. We don't have to, I don't want this to be an all or nothing thing. If you're not really getting consistent protein during your mealtime, upgrade your protein game. If you're eating late night snacks, late night junk food, cut that out. If you're not hydrating enough, start hydrating first thing in the morning. Aim for 100 ounces a day. 100 ounces of water. Okay, you can sprinkle, I love it. It's weird, but sprinkle some salt in your morning water. Get those electrolytes going right off the bat. Here's a little thought, pro tip, if you will. Schedule your training sessions like you would a business meeting. It's not negotiable. You have to show up for these. And schedule them the night before or even a week in advance if you want. These are the most important things on your calendar that are fueling you. Okay? Put it in your calendar. Put exactly what you're going to do the night before in your calendar. That way, when that appointment time comes, there aren't any questions of what you're doing. You just have to open your phone and go, that's what I'm knocking out today. I love this thought is like, insert somebody famous that you really admire here, but I'm going to use Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was, I don't want to say idol, somebody that I looked up to that was famous when I was growing up, because again, I love basketball. If I had an opportunity to go have lunch with Michael Jordan, do you think that I would have missed that for the world? Heck no. But is Michael Jordan going to move the needle in my life? Most likely, probably not. It's just going to be a cool story that I get to tell people. But showing up to these appointments that you set for yourself, that are your workouts, that's what's moving your needle. So if you wouldn't skip the appointment, the lunch date with Michael Jordan, why the heck are you skipping appointments for yourself? Start treating yourself better than that. Remember, especially if you're just starting out in this, Rome wasn't built in a day. And neither will your body be. Don't get frustrated when you're not seeing the results that you want right away. This is about consistency. It's about habit building and habit stacking. The results will take care of themselves if you can put those habits into place consistently. So if you're here live right now, or you're here in the future, I'd love to hear what's one thing that you're going to upgrade this week. Is it movement? Is it nutrition? Is it hydration? If you're already set in these areas, just put, dude, I'm set. I just like seeing your shoulders, but I am looking to upgrade my family life this week. And we can talk about that next week. So your challenge, I'm leaving it. Going into this week, move for 30 minutes every day. Add protein to a meal, every meal. Hard boil some freaking eggs. That's what I did this week. I hard boiled a bunch of eggs and I added a couple eggs to my morning routine. And do 2 to 3 strength training exercises. If you don't have any that come to mind and you need some help with that, reach out to me. I will hook you up before next Thursday. Now, I will not be here next Thursday. Talking about family and putting family first, I will be with my family on the other side of the country. But that doesn't mean that you need to skip this. If you want some help on this, please message me. After the live, after you see this, I will help you out. That is what that's what I've been called to do right now. If you need some strength training exercises, if you need some hit workouts that you can do to knock some things out at home, if you want a kettlebell routine, let me know, because a strong body is necessary for being a strong dad and being a strong leader. Because a strong dad is what builds a strong family. So let's freaking get after it. I will see you guys live again in 2 weeks when I get back. I think it's the 28th. Let me look at the calendar. Tis the 28th. If there's anything you want to dive into, let me know in the comments. Send me a message if you're not interested in being on public commenter. And I'll work a topic around what you guys are interested in later.